Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. The Ohio State Buckeyes get it done again on the recruiting trail, landing 2023 linebacker Nigel Glover. Now, this was an interesting story. Was Northwestern's top commit in their 2023 class, enrolled in school, and then after the Pat Fitzgerald fallout happened, he hits the transfer portal. And then Ohio State getting another victory against Michigan. It sounded like once he hit the transfer portal, it was between Michigan and Ohio State for Nigel Glover's commitment. And Ohio State ends up winning out. And that is, you can add that to the list of Ohio State getting it done on the trail against Michigan the last couple of weeks, right? Justin Scott at the beginning of July, it sounded like that was between Michigan and Ohio State. He goes with Ohio State. You have four-star cornerback Bryce West, Michigan, Ohio State. He goes to Ohio State. Then you had Aaron Scott this weekend, who also went to Ohio State with his last two coming down to Ohio State and Michigan. A couple months ago, I mean, you all know, if many of you guys do know, I am a Michigan fan. I was kind of banging the table for the best players in Ohio go to Michigan. Ryan Day and the staff quickly bucking that trend, landing another commitment in Nigel Glover. Now, going to break down who Nigel Glover is, what he brings to this Ohio State defense, dive into the film. Before we do, just want to say thank you to you guys. Again, it's been just a blast talking these recruiting battles, talking these commitments, breaking down these commitments. The support you guys have shown truly does mean a lot. So if you enjoy the content, you want to support the fellas, you enjoy the updates, consider subscribing to the channel. Appreciate y'all rocking with us the way that you guys do. Let's get into Nigel Glover. And the first thing that I'm really high on in terms of this take for Ohio State is the versatility Nigel Glover brings to the table. He played mostly safety in high school, but he has that prototypical linebacker frame, right? 6'3", he's up to 220 pounds. And if you guys have been listening to me, I'm a big fan of when safeties convert to linebackers, put on a little weight, because when you look at where the game is going in terms of defense, a lot of it has to do with how much speed and how much coverage ability can you get on the field while also being able to stop the run. So you're seeing a lot of teams go to that nickel look with only two linebackers, really trying to protect against the pass. And what you're asking of your linebackers is also to be active in the passing game, right? Being able to carry tight ends up the seam, being able to go out and tackle running backs in the flat. Gone are the days of the 260-pound Mike linebackers that are playing between the boxes. You have to have athletic, long linebackers that can do a lot of different things, especially in this Jim Knowles defense, where he asks a lot of those defensive guys in terms of doing a lot of different things. Nigel Glover, I think, is a perfect fit in terms of the versatility that Jim Knowles wants on this defense. Now, to take a look at the film, again, a really big fan of Nigel Glover because he's a safety, but you see how he's going to fit in quite smoothly as a linebacker, because this dude loves firing downhill. He's a very sure tackler. You see the sheer size, the wingspan that he brings to the table, a little scoop and score action for Nigel Glover off the bat, but you're going to see him be comfortable in space, especially tackling in space. You're going to see him very, very comfortable getting downhill as well. And then you're also going to see him really, really good in coverage as well, which that's rare for a lot of linebackers going to play college football. They're used to playing in the box, not really being asked to cover. Again, Nigel Glover, really good closing speed, tackling in space, forcing a fumble, kind of a playmaker that can do a lot of different things. I think this is, again, it's not going to jump off the table, but you see him get downhill, tackle in space. One of the more sure tacklers you'll see. I mean, really good technique, brings guys down consistently. I'll say not a commit that's going to jump off the paper in terms of recruiting ranking, but in terms of the fit in this Jim Knowles defense, I mean, I think this is a really good take. And you go back to this play, this is kind of what I mean. Like, you need linebackers that can go close and go tackle in space. And Nigel Glover, I think, certainly offers that. Again, getting downhill, really, really physical. He looks like a linebacker just playing that safety position. Here you see him walking up, blitzing off the edge. Again, showing that versatility and what he can do, playing that single high safety role, which, I mean, you need to have range. And then when it comes to having that open field tackling ability, there's nobody I trust more back there than Nigel Glover to come up with those tackles. Again, they're asking to play single high safety. Look at the closing speed, the ability to go tackle out in space. It's a really impressive player that, again, I don't think a lot of Ohio State fans are going to be absolutely thrilled about, especially when you just landed Justin Scott, Bryce West, and Aaron Scott. But a really good addition to this 2023 class that, when you look at it, it's a top 5 class in the country. It's a phenomenal class, but it was relatively offensive heavy, right? I mean, 4 out of your top 5 commits our pass catchers and Carnell Tate, Brandon Innes, Noah Rogers, and Jelani Thurman. Jelani Thurman, by the way, a guy that I'm massively high on along with Carnell Tate. But it's not to say that the defensive class was bad, but it might have lacked a little bit of depth and a little bit of bodies. And you go out and get a guy in Nigel Glover who will fit into this class relatively nicely. I think this is a nice get for Ryan Day. And again, kind of taking back that narrative that, and again, this is as a Michigan fan saying this, like Ohio State, they recruit the state of Ohio better than anybody else. And in Michigan, when Jordan Marshall commits, like to kind of celebrate that win. And I was extremely happy about it. But Ryan Day and the staff kind of showing a lot of the people that, hey, this is our state and this is what we can recruit. So along with just a really quality player, I think Ohio State is sending a really nice message that, hey, this is our state. This is who we recruit best. So another massive win for the Ohio State Buckeyes on the recruiting trail. Again, appreciate you guys rocking with the boys like you do. And if you do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. Appreciate y'all. And we'll talk to you guys later.